Hey, everybody, my name is Minda Hartz. I'm happy that you're here with us today. You could be anywhere on the internet and you're here with us. It's amazing to make it back here again together to have these important conversations. If you've never joined us before, welcome. You're already part of the squad. If you've been here with us on Mondays at noon, then you already know the vibes. Let us know in the chat how your weekend was. I know that many of you are watching us on primarily LinkedIn, but on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, we are a week out from my next book, Right Within: How to Heal from Racial Trauma in the Workplace. I am so excited for that book to hit your door stand or your inbox or however you pre-ordered. I just want to thank you for the support. I never thought that I would have an opportunity to write my first book, The Memo, and I certainly had no plans on writing a second book, but here we are. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to do that with you and be in community. And so if you have not ordered the book, it's a book for everybody. If you want to make the workplace work better and not continue to harm your colleagues or figure out how to be right within yourself in the workplace when you're the only or one of few, this is the book for you. So we're going to drop everything you need inside of the chat because we want you to be right within. We want you to join the virtual book tour that starts next week. And we also want you to join the book club that starts in November. So we'll drop those links in. And then today we're actually talking about onboarding. Your first few months at your organization as an employee is very, very important. And sometimes many of us have been in our situations for so long that we forget what it's like to be the new person, or maybe you were onboarded remotely. And so just thinking through some of those things. And so I couldn't have this conversation without the infamous Joey V. Price of Jumpstart HR. We're going to talk about all the things onboarding and the employee journey, which is very, very important. So even if you start a new job, some of the things that you need to consider, or maybe that you might need to ask for support so that you have a really great first 90-day experience. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Joey to the stage. Joey, how are you?
Minda, I am well. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too.
So for those who may not be familiar with your work, go ahead and fill them in on what you do at Jumpstart HR and just the thought leader that you are in the space.
Awesome. Well, my name is Joey Price, and I'm the founder of Jumpstart HR. At Jumpstart, we help small businesses, startups, and the federal government with projects that relate to their human capital. So we help with everything through the employee journey. For our smaller firms, we become the HR department, help you shape culture, help you bring optimal joy to the workplace, and improve the employee experience at your workplace. So that's what we do. I founded it 10 years ago. And, it's been a daily journey and daily joy to see organizations take that next step in their organizational growth and celebrate their wins right with them.
I love it so much. We'll make sure that we drop your information in the chat so that people have that. But maybe for those who are not familiar, maybe they've called it something else. But let's level set. What is onboarding and why is it important for the employee journey?
Great question, Minda. So the onboarding experience, we so often confuse it with the checklist to start work. But really, it's the way that you orient your employees to the way of life at your organization. So I know we're going to get into several topics around it. This is why we're here. But I want to just frame perspective of understanding that the onboarding experience is the start of the relationship. And how many people have heard that saying before? The way you start is the way you end. And so if you want an employee to leave your organization well, you want them to start well. And so we're going to talk today about how you can do that, how you can improve the experience, take some reflection if you're a job seeker of what you should be looking for in the experience, and how to ask for that, how to get what you deserve. So super excited about this topic. I'm passionate about it, and hopefully some folks write down some memos so they can be right within on their onboarding experience.
Yes, I love that so much. And it's so important. I mean, you said a lot of important things that journey is so important. I know back in my old life, when I would start new jobs, I would maybe know where the bathroom is, and then people would sit you down and you just kind of have to figure out certain things along the way. And so, it doesn't always feel the best. But what advice do you have for those who are onboarding as new employees, especially remotely, and some of our HR or aspiring HR professionals, some things to take into consideration as they're pulling things together for that first 90 days.
Yeah, so I think there are two audiences to address here: those who are the new employee, and then those who are the team leaders that want to make the experience great. So I'll spend some time touching on both of those. So if you are the new hire, congratulations! I'm so proud of you. You've taken that next step. You left an organization and you're getting ready to join a new one. It can be scary. It can be exciting. It can be nervous. It can be nerve-wracking to join a new organization. But what you're looking for from your new employer is basically for them to answer the question, what are the rules to the road? And what do I need to do here to succeed? And so that's not just the job description, right? It's not just going through your line items and saying, here's how you accomplish bullet one, here's how you accomplish bullet two, but really getting a sense for what are the relationships that you need to develop? Who are the key players in the organization? You need to identify who will be your workplace best friend. Research shows that people stay at jobs longer and have greater satisfaction when they have a workplace best friend. And you want to be someone who comes in willing to learn, willing to grow, understand that no organization is perfect, but you want to try to get a feel for where the imperfections are so you can see how you might manage your career in spite of those, and maybe be a game changer in making those imperfections a little bit more solid. So you should absolutely ask for the benefits, ask for who to reach out to if there's questions. But within your team, within your department, you want to make sure people are taking you to lunch or take them to lunch. And in this virtual world, that's virtual coffee. I've got my coffee cup here. We're hanging out, Minda and I and all of you. But the relationship piece is so important in that first 90 days because you don't want to be a person who starts off on the bad foot. So that's for those who have taken that first step as a new hire. Now, for those of you who are watching today and you're writing some memos down and you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I improve what we have going on? We have a new hire starting next Monday, and I want game-changing advice today. The first thing you need to do is take an inventory of your most recent hires and ask them, hey, where was your experience on the scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not so great and 10 being out of the park? Where did we meet your expectations? Where did we not meet your expectations? What would you have liked to seen in our onboarding experience? What do you think now being in the organization you would have liked to known about before? It's not just showing the bathrooms, although that is a super, super important part. And pro tip, if you're interviewing in person, you always want to see the condition of the bathroom because that shows what they think about the employees. That's just some free game I'll share with you there. But as the employer, you want to make sure that you're reflecting on how your past experiences have gone. You also want to just get organized. You can tell as a new hire when someone's rushed, when you're not treated as a priority, when your software hasn't been set up, your hardware hasn't been assigned, and you just kind of herd it in, so to speak, and expect it to just go along to get along. No, you want to set a high expectation for your employee to know that you value them and you care. So I'd say reflect and see how things have gone. Get organized. And then my third key would be just to make sure that you're always looking at the process and you're talking about culture and vision. Culture and vision, believe it or not, is why your employees sign up to work for your organization. So you want to make sure that they understand that piece more and more so that they know your values, they guard your values, and as they make decisions on behalf of your organization, they are making decisions with your values in mind.
Listen, I wish I had my tambourine handy because you were dropping all of the good gems. And I know that the chat, I'm looking at all the platforms and I'm like, okay, everybody's like asking a bunch of questions now. You hit a lever, Joey. But let me tell you, not for nothing, when you do go to the bathroom and it's a bad place, you're going to it's not a good experience because if you aren't comfortable even using the bathroom at your own place of employment, yeah. It's going to be a problem because there's toilet paper rolled all around on the floors. I mean, there's so many things, but culture, you hit on that. I want to dig a little bit deeper. What if the HR professional asked some of their recent new hires about their 0 to 1, to 10 experience? What if they are honestly and say, you know what, it's about a 3? Is it possible for them to get up to at least a 7 or something like that on the next round. Is that possible?
Yeah, believe it or not, and so Minda, maybe we have to come back to talk about our bathroom experiences and how terrible. But that's another show for another time. But you can actually get to a 10. I firmly believe that you can get to a 10. And the fact that your employees felt comfortable sharing that it was a 3 is actually a really great step, because the opposite of that is that they're not going to tell you, and then they're going to apply for jobs somewhere else. There's actually a stat that says 1 in 5 employees leave their organization prior to the first 90 days. And so that's not just those who didn't make the cut because their work performance didn't meet expectation, but it's also the people who got in, looked around, figured out, hey, this place isn't what I thought it was. I'm cutting bait. I'm cutting out and I'm leaving. But you can absolutely get to that 10. Figure out what it is that your employee said made it a 3, and then do your best to adjust. Now, you're not aiming to be middle of the road. You're aiming to exceed expectation because you want your employees to exceed your expectations. So just have that open dialogue, share it with managers and influencers in the organization that can help make that a reality. And sometimes it's a 3 because, hey, my manager showed up late. That's a quick fix. Sometimes it's a 3 because, hey, the benefits weren't explained as accurately as I thought they should be. That's an easy fix. The onboarding experience, they're not going to say it was a 3 because I'm getting, $10,000 less than I deserve. They're not going to answer that in that mode for that particular topic. That's a topic for another time. But as far as the start of their journey as an employee in your organization, that's what they're going to ask about. And I forgot to give a tip about surprise and delight. If you're onboarding a virtual team member, maybe ship some goodies that people enjoy, not just in the break room, but maybe in your locale, right? So I'm in Maryland, I'm in the harbor. Maryland's known for Old Bay, so like shipping Old Bay on everything, right, will help someone appreciate their experience.
Listen, that was a hack right there. That was a great tip, and you can still make people's experience really great. We have a couple questions in the chat, and people are really asking for any additional tips you might have to acclimate those remote employees so they do feel comfortable. And also, too, maybe you can embed, Joey. This wasn't part of their question, but it's mine. Is when they started out remote and they had that onboarding process, but now they're coming back to the office. It's a little bit different than when, maybe HR professionals to consider kind of a onboarding 2.0 perhaps once they get into the office. So I'll let you, you're the pro, so I'll let you chime in on those things.
Well, Minda, it sounds like there's a lot of great ideas in the chat. But for that first onboarding, virtual or otherwise, I can't stress the importance of values and that workplace best friend. So you need to have that new hire paired with someone in the organization, manager or otherwise, that can help them acclimate to, hey, here's what it means to succeed in the organization. Because your employees are going to have questions. They're going to want to share off the cuff experiences. They're going to want to talk about things that maybe they don't feel comfortable asking a manager about, but someone that they can confide in. You also, again, with the culture and values, you want to make sure that that person, when they wake up on Monday and they clock in, they understand why they are doing what they do and who they're doing it for. One of the mantras that we have at Jumpstart is, as much as we enjoy Fridays, we want people excited about Monday as well. And so just figuring out what you need to do to make that a reality is going to go a long way too. So pair them with the best friend. And that doesn't have to be their friend forever, but someone to get them past the first 90 days, and then continue to share culture, continue to share vision, where their role falls into that, and you'll be way better off. And then as far as that onboarding 2.0, absolutely, maybe have a couple of sessions with the employee about, hey, here's our office rules of the road, and chatting with them and having a workplace best friend in the office as well.
I love it. Great advice. Great advice. Another question I have for you here is, how can employees make sure they get the most out of the onboarding process? Because like you said, maybe the manager is consistently showing up late, or your computer wasn't hooked up, or you're working remote and they still haven't sent you what you needed to even do your job. So, so you don't get like, oh, did I make the right decision? Maybe it's just some conversations that need to be had.
Yeah. So let me caveat this too and say, I'm not going to tell you to stay at an organization that you think isn't going to be good long term. However, you do have a responsibility to ask questions. Your first 90 days is the absolute best time to ask questions and ask for the answers and look for the answers that you get. So, as the employee, you want to make sure that you are asking, "Hey, when will my next evaluation be? What's the organizational culture wins for our organization? Hey, what's my budget to do what I need to do? Who are the people that I need to know and get to know the most in order to be successful at my job? Uh, if I'm filling a role that was vacated, why did that person leave, and what are you looking for so that I can stick around and be a value add?" It's okay to ask these questions because you want to succeed. Your organization wants you to succeed. That's why they hired you. And so, the first 90 days, ask away. There's no stupid question, and your employer should be prepared to give a response.
Great answer. If you have, I know some people are throwing their questions in the chat, but make sure if you have any questions, please put them in the chat so that Joey can answer. And we'll also drop his information if your company needs some assistance with all things HR related. Check out Joey's services and his team. Make sure that everybody has what they need. How do we make work for everybody, from the person just starting, for the person who's been there for years? But we're definitely want that journey to be great. We have one other question that I wanted to take here is it's a big one, Joey, so I'm trying to paraphrase. But
right.
people want to know, what does good look like on onboarding in the 90 days? I know that's a huge question, but maybe you can offer a couple of what best practices that you all have seen or suggest to clients.
Sure. So, big question, and I'll answer it as best as I can. So, the first thing is that it's relative, right? So, onboarding at a large Fortune 500 publicly traded organization may be different than onboarding with a smaller firm that may be, mom and pop or whatever the case may be. But a few markers that you can assign to say that it's good. A, is it organized? B, did their values shine through? C, does it provide helpful next steps? D, is there room to give feedback? And then E, does it seem like everybody in the process is glad that I'm here? Those 5 points. I know I said them quickly, so you got to watch the replay again to capture them. But whether you're onboarding and you're getting that signing bonus, because you are at a large firm, or you're getting some homemade baked goods at the smaller firm, just making sure it's organized, making sure you feel respected and welcomed. Those are some of the ways that it's a good experience. And if there's something that was missed, maybe there's an opportunity for you to share that in the future.
Absolutely. Great tips. Make sure that you all watch the replay and share it with others, because there's somebody who's starting a new job. There's somebody that's working in HR in this section or in their department. And so, things to consider, because sometimes I think we do our jobs and we're just so used to just getting down the list and getting what we need that sometimes we don't think about how it's coming across, how it's landing on some of those who are just getting started. So thank you for that, Joey. I hate that we're almost toward the end of our conversation, but listen, if you have a couple extra questions, get them in the chat, and I'm going to move into my bonus questions, which for those who watch every Monday, you know that I am a lover of grits and rap lyrics. If you are new, then I love me some grits. There's just no other way to eat them, in my opinion, other than salt. But Joey, I'm hoping that you don't break my heart here, but do you like grits, and how do you eat them?
So Minda, I'm with you. I am team salt. I like the shrimp and grits, so I wouldn't make a sugary grit with shrimp. That just sounds disgusting. But as a person on the East Coast, you got to have some good grits. So I'm grits with salt.
Okay, see,
And hot sauce if you're feeling spicy.
I knew you were. I knew we had some things in common, but I was hoping that you wouldn't break my heart on this Monday. But we're in a good place. So now I'm really excited to ask you what your favorite rap lyric is and why.
All right, cool. So asking me to pick my favorite rap lyric is like asking me to pick, which child I like the most, because I'm a big fan of rap, and I always say when I retire, I just want to go work for Genius, who makes rap lyrics and then decodes what they mean. But my favorite rap lyric is from Watch the Throne's "Murder to Excellence." So that's Jay-Z and Kanye, where Jay says, "Domino, domino, I only see a few blacks the higher I go." And that struck me because what I love about Jay-Z's life and story arc is he's this guy who, got it out of the mud, was known for one thing really good, but then he's transitioned to be a mogul, a businessman. He's well respected in many different areas. But he realized that as he climbs this ladder of success, he doesn't look around and see people that look like him. And that's the challenge for me. That's the challenge for him. I know he opens doors for others to come alongside him and sit at the table. And that's a challenge to me, is that I don't want to walk into rooms and be the only black person that is of success. And so I always want to bring friends along. I always want to bring family along. I always want to show the blueprint of what it means to walk in these shoes and surpass what I've done. So I take that as kind of a challenge. It's an unfortunate reality for where we are, but it doesn't have to stay where we would be in the future. So that's one. But I could go all day. Drake, Kanye, Jay-Z, Cudi, Kendrick. We could roll with it.
Okay, we have to do a special edition of rap lyrics on another episode, but that's such a good one, and so apropos for the onboarding, for the hiring, for the employee journey. So Jay always hits even any day of the week. So I'm glad to hear that's the homie in my head. So good lyric. I love that. The other question is, we are all leaders. You don't have to wait for somebody to call you one, give you a bonus because now you can put it next to your, in your signature line. We all can be leaders. We all are leaders. We have the ability to do that. What is one tip you would give all of our leaders watching on how to make the workplace better than they found it?
Well, in addition to rap lyrics, I love quotes and I love sports quotes. And there's a former hockey player named Wayne Gretzky, and he said, "Don't skate where the puck is, skate where the puck is going to be." So if you can anticipate the needs of your organization and you can build a solution to improve the work experience for your colleagues, you're going to be successful and you're going to be a leader. And if you're not in a leadership role today, you will be tomorrow. So if you just think about the future and build the steps to making a positive experience for your employees and your colleagues, you'll be a good leader. Be likable, but don't be, a pushover. And always be an advocate for those who are underserved and whose voices aren't heard. And you'll be well respected.
Listen, another tambourine moment there. Thank you for that advice. I love that so much. Repeat that one just one more time so people can let that really marinate in their spirit.
Yeah. So hockey, which I don't watch, so I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but hockey is all about, setting yourself up for a good shot. And the quote is, "Don't skate where the puck is, skate where the puck is going to be." So to set yourself up to win, to set yourself up to score, you have to think about, what are the open spaces? What are the opportunities? Where is there a place where you can show up and make an impact and you can score for your team, score for your career? And that quote has got me pretty far in life. And it's going to hang up on my wall at one day. But that's the quote. Don't skate where the puck is, skate where the puck is going to be.
Yes, listen, let that take you into the week, because we can all skate where it's going to be. I love that so much, Joey. Thank you for that. We have time to take one more question. A lot of people are asking about culture, but I wanted to go up. And if we can put that one on the screen, Mike, that would be great. There was a question about culture and insights. Now I've seen it scrolling. Okay. What are the key signs of a great company culture? That was a great question.
Awesome. Yeah, great question. Another topic that could be expounded upon, but very quickly, I'll just say, are people more agreeable with the mission than are combative? So is there a lot of alignment? Are people generally happy? Are positive things rewarded and are negative things reprimanded or disciplined or coached? And is the organization successful? So healthy things grow but you want to make sure that what's growing is healthy and not a weed. A weed culture. I'm out in my garden a lot with my daughter, but you want to make sure that it's healthy. You want to make sure that people are agreeable. You want to make sure that there's a consensus for what the mission is, and you want to make sure that there's a high feedback culture where you can get coached up on areas where you want to grow. So those are some signs of a healthy culture, but no two organizations are going to be alike, and some organizations may even approach one topic from a different side of the table. So those would be my tips.
You gave us all the tips today, Joey. Listen, if you caught any of our conversation late, or you're like, you know what, I got to watch the replay, I highly encourage, but you can definitely watch it on my LinkedIn page, but you can go to YouTube and put in Secure the Seat Live, and you can watch the replay right after our episode. Listen, the chat's been going wild for you, Joey. Thank you for the work that you do. We're going to drop your link inside. Again, are there any final thoughts you'd like to leave everybody with today as they go into the rest of the week?
Well, first of all, just to pre-buy your book, Minda. I already have mine in queue, and I'm really grateful that you've had me on the show. But really, understanding that everybody plays a role in culture and the onboarding experience, whether you have a formal role or not. The way that you show up in your organization sets the tone for everybody, new and old. So carry that responsibility greatly, and you'll be rewarded for that.
I love that. People have really enjoyed today's episode. I have too. Joey, thank you for how you show up in the world, how you lead with empathy, with courage, and with dignity, and you help us make the workplace better than we found it. Make sure, where's the best place you want people to connect with you? We'll also drop it again in the chat too.
Sure. Best place is our website, jumpstart-hr.com. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I think it's easy to navigate to my page and find me as a contact. And then I'm on socials at Joey V Price HR. It's in my handle here. Those are the best ways to reach me.
Awesome. So listen, connect with Joey. Jumpstart HR is a great solution. So check out how you can partner and work together. And then the last thing I'm going to say is we are a week away, almost a week away from Right Within. I have a virtual book tour, a book club, all the things. We're going to drop that link in. Make sure that you pre-order. Let's make a splash. Let's let these workplaces know that it's not okay for it to work for just select few, that there is opportunities for everybody to do the best work of their career without being traumatized each and every day. And so it's time for you to be right within. Healing is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. So we will see you soon. Thank you again, Joey. Thank you to all of you. Again, you could spend your time doing anything, and you wanted to talk about how we secure our seat at the table. So I love you for that. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Monday at noon. Take care, everybody.